Kublai, ipin yang sebai pi syaka sports corner. Banang pentibit shishu, hak jinglek kai bobonjan. Kabormet ke dan kaman klan. Kidok sa ke dan kaman klan. Igri-gri simli ibadi expert jangka strength and conditioning. In pin ingi ki drills barki exercises nam tak jinglek kai bobonjan. Menta in pin pi ya ke strength and conditioning jangka cricket bat MMA.
Ha India ke jinglek kai cricket kare ke bapau tam haduk mentah mene ba lalek kai ya keniga sports hakeleng ki kendong kincrot jang kari India ke Board of Control for Cricket in India BCCI kedai ke governing body jang ke Indian cricket bat ai kamairu ya kinong ilek kai na ke jela ha ke jela jang ngiru ngilas dang ban sakhi ya ke jingmi kirang bat ki thei lek kai khamtam ki khna samla ki badai ye tikna ya ke jinglek kai cricket bat aipor kerpang nak benta jengka. Ti banang ya chu kam chakmat ki khana ilek kai ki don kam shishu ya ki jingcha e kai. Nalor ki coach ki don kam ru you strength and conditioning trainer nak benta ke performance bakam paka shishu.
Okey pai bak menta ngadan ba igri-gri simli ibadai strength and conditioning specialist. Mentangin ang kuat show bantip nalor kini ke ai ile apa jingim.
Te hadin ke strength and conditioning specialist course bangal ada pendap le sendon ke diploma course in sports exercise. Tekani diploma course in sports exercise but ka yarap yang benlong little bit more better as a strength and conditioning specialist ken. Long kahikai susu. Kahikai yang ke rehab, kahikai yang ke sports injury, kahikai yang kuno u athlete un perform better. Namarkan ni ke strength and conditioning specialist as a strength and conditioning specialist kan ke priority jungi dia train ke movement not muscle mo namar ke movement jong athlete is more important than the muscle.
Okay.
The muscle comes secondary. The main thing which an athlete requires is his movement pattern should be very precise. Tamo ka malong very ke bediban biang ba kata rukam ba porbu la kai umni ban bakla ban mare ni ban kanti tamba baro hi ki sidon ke jing bakla anto tekshio injury ki por. So the yo injury ru ngalale ekane ka course ka diploma course so that I can help them kanang ba at least for 3 to 4 weeks ngalaban yarap iki with the injury recovery mo which is rehab course bangale ta rehab course what it does is it kalong ba hikai nga kumno ha ka to immediate sports rehab kumno ban la u athlete bun kiu ban la ban get back to sport mo ta hadien ka physio intervention of course mo the lada bu physio then the athlete comes back to me to when he comes back to me pan ngai kai u kumno ban get back to the sport specifically ki rehab ki exercises ken and at the same time ngai kai so ki movement exercises whereby ki movement exercise ki long ba unla ban le byang ke sport bu jumlen suppose running lada u injure ke ni kumno ngala ben recover you por u bun la ben mare biang of course kidon hi ke jingpang of course tamba kenamba unumpang palat ya ke tu ke kejat ke bau layo injury na ke ankle bu layo injury ne maybe his quadricep also layo injury okay. That is basically some more which I've learned ke na ke course
Kau ban tip ru ba nalor ki practice ki players ki don kumju ki coach ru terbalik kita dan kam piba.
So balai kini ki coach like for example a cricket coach or football coach or a basketball coach will require an SSC specialist is because maki ki kai bet ya ka sport very directly tangka sport only the sport. Okay. So ni pat ni kai ya ka what is apart from that to break that barrier jongki. Nomor bahapo ke coaching jong ke sport and all that ting kisit po ya ka bangikot ka plateau mo in performance especially where the muscle can respond to ne ki kimla ban mare so ne the timing jong how fast they can run ka dunano ne ka sprinting jong ki ka dunano they come to us mo and apart from that also ngi sidi kai ki klung so porngi kai ki klung pat what happens is ngi la ban pen bo iki ha ka to ka line ru ba their body is ready for the sport, and in the sense their body does not get any injury. Their body movement pattern,
Okay.
the movement pattern jong athlete kan long condition ken lupa. That is what is called conditioning ken. Ni kai ki kumno ban condition lupa kumno ban la ban ball you know during cricket or batting. And what happens is, as a specialization course, we have to be much more sensitive. More. Namar bakini ki, for example, kulung and all that, we cannot train too much also. More. Ni takadao, for that reason we train movements, not muscle. Namar ki bone ki kemekpa and other parents of even senior athletes also, kim kwa ek athlete bikin long bulk. Ki hab ban long lean. That is the athletic build. More kim di ban long bulk, namar ki bulk, ka performance jung ki ka low.
Okay.
They won't be able to run, they won't be able to jump. Tamba, if they're lean, they can perform. That is why we train movements and not muscle.
Today we're going to do a few of the drills, warm-up drills, static drills and dynamic drills. Just a few, to give an example. With us we have cricket players, so we'll go a little bit more specific to the sport also. Okay. First of all, let's stand legs a little wider than your hips. Alright, we'll do static stretch. First stretch is for the neck. So 30 seconds for each side. Hold and turn to the other side. Now up. Now down. Now down. Touch your chin to your collarbone. Now up. Normal. Hands up out. Legs a little wider. Okay. We'll just do a rotation exercise. Rotation drill. Sorry. So face this side and the other side. Twist your back. Try not to move your heels. So it'll be a rotation exercise where you're not rotating your lower body, only your upper body. Now back to position 1 and chest. A little bit of a stretch. Other side. 30 seconds at least for each side. And now we'll go to a little bit of dynamic warm-up. Okay. First exercise will be, first drill actually, will be a high knees. So legs will be closer and we'll do this for 30 seconds. So 3, 2, 1, go. Try to land on your heel and lift those thighs up and stop. Now, it's a very simple stretching exercise, okay? Not too wide, a little closer. Not uncomfortable, anyone? Okay? So, let me show you the exercise first, then you guys follow, okay? This is the exercise, okay? So, let's start. 3, 2, 1, go. Right hand, left leg, right hand. Hands up, hands up. Continue again. Yes. Okay. So now take one step back. Now we'll do Atlas lunges. Okay. So let me show you the exercise first. Hands up. One step ahead. Twist and return. Hands will be up in this position itself. Like Atlas holding the globe, okay? But you do a lunge also. And then the other leg, okay? So 3, 2, 1, hands up, start. Twist. Now, other leg, twist. Again, we'll do at least 5 steps. Okay, done. Now, position where you're comfortable. Again, we'll do just normal punches. Okay, so very simple punch, but back foot has to twist. Okay, and punch. Okay. We'll do 5 punches each hand. 3, 2, 1, start. Twist the back leg, Aaron. Now a little bit faster. Okay, that sums up our static and dynamic drills. Okay, now after this we'll start with the conditioning exercises, strengthening exercises in the gym. Menta ingin sedang so ki strengthening exercise na menta ke cricket. So cricketer needs to be very careful uhap menolong husiar ya ki shoulders. Ki shoulders jung ke back jung ki menolong husiar kini ahli ki body parts. And at the same time he should be able to use his lower body for sprinting and for actually whole body, but he has to be very wary of these two because he uses his power with his back, his shoulders and his glutes. So, and also same time sprinting also is required. So for today we are going to start a warm-up. Now when I warm up, I'm using a resistance band. This is not a loop resistance band, but kalau use the ubala long loop route, this is a light. So basically for an athlete this is very light. So just for demonstration purposes, kenakan long namenta jungki. So the first exercise is a pronation and supination grip. Warm up for the shoulders. So you start with this grip. At the same time, elbow kadi bendan kam shikmat and out. At the same time, ki elbows can ben mi kumto, ben le kumto. That is basically pointless. The point is you keep it here and you pull it apart. Shoulders yang bikin long relax, kemudian penungkam ke mat, kemudian penungkam rendang, penungkam tang ki shoulder. In this grip also, it changes direction. Now after this, we will change position by moving a little lower and holding the grip this way, and we'll follow ke right hand. First right hand. 1, 2. As this exercise is being done, the left hand cover bed, kariban dan chalor. The right hand cover twist, through kariban bed, and just look at the wrist. Change hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now kini kilong ki stabilization exercises for the joint, shoulder joint, rotator cuff. Now another exercise, same position, up, ahead, up, up, back, back, up, up, ahead. Now this way also, there's another exercise where we pull it apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now kini exercises you can be done just for 30 seconds each, so you're not required by long kini exercise. But these are exercises which are very much necessary for a cricketer especially to get ready kini. Compound exercises kilong ke exercises kiba involve more than one muscle group. They are not isolated exercises. So the point is that we have to work our whole body. So this sort of routine will be for whole body. Apart from all of that, cricketer requires a whole body to be ready for everything. Takadaw niya choose ki compound. But at the same time, there will be a change in the intensity. Nakaba change the timing of rest. Timing of rest, the weight, the resistance. When we start now, we will be occupying the time limit jong kani ka exercise, ka whole routine kan long tang maximum of 45 minutes. The first main compound exercise which we are going to be using is squats. So the weight loaded for the squat right now is a comfortable weight for me. Now for an athlete, it should be at least 30 to 40% of their max, so the 1 rep max. So if my 1 rep max is 100 kilos, my weight which I will be using will be 40 kilos. So right now, before performing the squat, I put the grip a little bit wider where I'm comfortable, my back, shoulder blades together. Kenang menamarkan ikan tiga back squat, so ke weight kan don haka terpeng jonga. There, I'll keep it together. The weight on my trapezius. So I firmly put it on the trapezius, and my front foot is in a position where it is holding the weight, so I don't dip ahead. I take my chest out, take a deep breath in, and then lift. Now, for today, we are going to be doing a narrow stance where I will be performing the squat at a 90-degree angle. So, I will look straight and perform the squat. The second exercise is called stiff leg deadlift or Romanian deadlift. So this can be done either with a dumbbell or with a barbell. So mentasi dengan penyidu barbell. And since this is something a little bit more compound, it is a very precision exercise. It's a movement exercise actually. It's basically a hinge movement more, which is ka hip jumpi. From this position, it just has to push back. That's the only thing which it has to be done. So that means kaneka exercise don't come heavy. This is an exercise for utilizing the muscle. So starting position, legs together, very narrow stance. Grip it a little wider than the shoulder, and chest out. Weight should not be heavy. The chest out, knees a little bent, and pull up. Right now I'm taking one step back so that nganam pandai ka rack. So chest out, shoulders together, and knees are bent slightly, and just push back. That's the exercise. It is not required to go below the knee. So this exercise kadai tang naman taki hamstring. So the moment we feel that stretch hak hamstring, yun kam shuk banle handuk lower ya kan ya. It has no benefit if you go lower, because the point of this exercise is just to activate the glutes and the hamstring. At the same time, your breathing is also very much required to be in control. The core should be tight. At the same time, your neck should not be straight. And that was the exercise called the stiff leg deadlift. Mentan nilai depth ke stiff leg deadlift and ke squat. So those both exercises were very much lower body focused. But then at the same time, they are both compound exercises, meaning kamde tang one area of activation. So mentapat will go to a different thing which is called a superset. Superset means that nginle kawai ke exercise, which is the leg press, and then at the same time march and dep kane for 10 reps or 12 reps, we'll switch to a different exercise which is called a incline bench. And the reason why we're doing these two together at the same time is to activate both the lower and the upper body at the same time. Intensity will be higher. So therefore, sets yung minimum of 3 sets, and also very beneficial ki general public also when they use this exercise, these type of exercises, when they have less time. Rest for all the exercises as of now is still 90 seconds. Tambah, ya kene mentak will just be 30 seconds. So the weight for these exercises will be also lesser. More, the intensity will be higher. So we'll start off with the leg press now. So in this machine, the leg press machine which we have here in long rim, the stance is a little bit higher. Now the body should be firm on the back. The glutes should be on the seat below. The weight should not be so heavy. Superset. So we start it off by pushing 1, 2, unlock, and then perform at least 12 reps. So while performing the reps, always push with the heel and at the same time the knees will be bent while performing the exercise. We cannot lock out, so bent, and in that way kenika hamstrings root will be firing. Now the stance right now ngabut narrow. We can keep it lower. So what happens is when we keep it lower, activates the quads more. So lada PE berpilak ya ke quads, quad power lebih semua berpilak. You can always keep it lower. Keep it higher. What happens is the hamstrings and the glutes are activated more. Now ya ke person who is finding it difficult bermaret step and all that, it would be better if they activate these two. Amarba, the running mechanics is very important with regards to the glutes and the hamstring. Now straight away, we just switch the exercise to an incline bench. The reason for incline bench is because an incline activates the chest a lot more. Now, like I said, while performing this exercise, it is not required that the exercise weight be heavy. It is advised also by exercise, but even done a personal trainer, coach, whatever, who is supervising you, to avoid injury, because these exercises are compound but at the same time very high intensity. So while performing the exercise, we do not want to risk injury, and at any time fatigue can kick in, and when fatigue kicks in, you do not want to drop the weight on you. Mentang and use the machine, which is the lat pull down machine, and for the shoulders we are going to use free weights. We're going to use a dumbbell. I will show with the dumbbell and with a bar called an easy bar or Z bar or a curl bar. We'll start off with the lat pull down. So this is for your back, your latissimus dorsi, especially this portion. While performing this exercise, it is advised that you do not pull with your hands or with your arms, sorry. It is an exercise for your back, so the grip jongane is very crucial. Most people can grip wide if they have a wider shoulder. But for me, I prefer at a comfortable grip, which is right at the bend, where my shoulders will not be used. So the weight again will be at the comfortable weight of the athlete. The mentana ni ladang shutanya kene ke kumne ya kene ke machine nginumyo ya ke targeted area. Like I said, this is a compound exercise. Tambah agak jopor ni hamban kan mau ya ke form. Form jo kene ke long kumne. You have to roll your shoulders back, relax your neck, bend at a slight degree, meaning close to 70 degree to 60 degree, and then take your lats out, shoulders back, grip it tight, and at the same time pull with your ring finger or with your elbow. Think of your elbow bentan kan ya. So what happens is when you do that, automatically your latissimus dorsi will be used. And instead of just sitting straight and pulling it this way, what happens is you don't get the intended area. Instead, you will risk injury for the shoulder. But relax the neck and the shoulder and the traps and just pull. Put your shoulder blades together and pull. What will happen is you'll only use your back. So, masandapkan 12 reps straight to the dumbbells. In this case, I shall use a neutral grip. A neutral grip is this. Now we are going to do a shoulder press with a neutral grip. So head is straight, head is rested, neck is rested. Push. The weight jump neru kamban kya. Tambah. You have to keep it high out at the form. A neutral grip is much more useful, less injury, more functional. And vertical push is very important also. So these are supersets. So both of them were supersets. At the same time, if you have an easy bar, you can also perform it this way, where the grip is slightly out. The weight need not be heavy, as I mentioned. So those are the two various supersets. So we'll have one more superset, and as I mentioned when we are doing the shoulder exercise, the point of all of this actually, the supersets, is that we are performing movement base. While we were doing the leg press, that is a horizontal push of the lower body. While we were doing incline press, we were doing a horizontal push of the upper body. So those two will intertwine as a superset. Just now I did a lat pull down, which was a vertical pull. Now what I just finished with the shoulder press is a vertical push. So these two activate the different parts of the body, a full body. Okay. Now the last is an optional superset, which is for your arms, biceps and triceps and wrist. So now the last superset. Now this is an optional superset. Namarba, it is sometimes not always required to do, but it is preferred to do because sometimes there is lacking in the muscular development of certain individuals. So we'll be performing for the biceps, triceps, and a little bit of the wrist with regards to the grip. So yakane inchim diki dumbbells. Now I'm using the 5 kilo, but it is preferred to use something not too light also at the same time. Namarba, there's a compound movement, like I said. It's a little bit advanced, so be careful when you do this exercise. Namarba, your pure injury. So starting is like this, chest out, tummy tight, stance should be not so narrow, your legs should be tight, and only thing that moves is your arm. So beginning is 1, 2, a hammer curl, then up, where you're going to be doing a tricep extension with the dumbbell. After this, you return back here, position 1, and slowly drop the dumbbell. So let me perform the exercise in the proper flow. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now it is advised to hold the weight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Control the eccentric, meaning the negative, or penhap ka weight, what I ka weight bakanchu drop. Mar bakani ka exercise karong ka bakhamlay. So at the same time, you cannot just do it so fast. So you cannot just do it like this. It's no point. That exercise is not beneficial at all. That's why lightweight is required, where you are doing the exercise slowly. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Now this exercise, what it does is it activates your whole arm, from the shoulder rotator cuff to the biceps, to the triceps, to your wrist, to your grip. Now the point of all of that is because of a cricketer will be using his arm variously. At the same time, he does not need his arms to be massively big. So it is more for the functional movement of him bowling, and the same for bowling. So he does not need to use very heavy weight. His rotator cuff is the most important part of the body when it comes to his sport. Risk of injury is for that reason very high priority. So if he's doing an exercise like that, he has to do it light, whereby he's not going to risk any injury for his shoulders, whereby he can pop his shoulder or dislocate his shoulder or injure it in any way. But he is still going to be using the muscle which is required for strengthening it to avoid injury. So when your muscles are stronger, what happens is your risk of injury also drops a little bit, by a lot actually, not by a bit, because your muscles will be always active to avoid your injury in the field. Suppose now he is, if you compare an athlete like who's an amateur, who's just started bowling, just started batting, the moment he's done with practice, when he reaches home, he's going to feel soreness. Now, if it's an intermediate player or an advanced player or a state player, for example, or a national player, if he does half a day of practice, he's not going to feel that much of soreness, but he's going to feel fatigue. The next day he's going to be ready for another match again, for another session of practice. But for an amateur, the next day he's going to have a lot of soreness, so therefore it'll affect his effectiveness on the field. So the purpose of these exercises, the supersets, the compound exercises, is for the athlete to be able to perform on the field, to not be hindered by soreness, by fatigue. So when your muscles are stronger, your fatigue will be lesser, your performance will increase if your fatigue is lesser. The soreness will not be there much because the muscles are able to recover much faster. You have more muscle fibers activating while performing the sport. You will not have much soreness because you'll be able to perform much more easily. So for that reason, I have programmed this full body routine because it activates all the muscle groups without causing much of fatigue for an athlete, because at the same time, if an athlete comes to me, he's going to come to me in the evenings because the whole morning he's going to be practicing. After his practice, he's going to have his food and then come to me. So when an athlete is done with practice, obviously he'll be tired. So I cannot afford to weaken him even more. Instead, I should make a routine for him to be able to do it, at the same time benefit him, not just move his body parts, but it should also benefit him even when he's on season or just practicing. So the athlete, when he's done with the workout in the gym, he goes back home, he rests. After he's well rested, in the morning it should not affect his practice again. So for that reason, these full body workouts, supersets and all that, they need not be heavy, but they need to be functional. And that is the reason we require certain individuals, like for example, a physiotherapist, a proper cricket coach, or like me, a strength and conditioning specialist, to program such routines for athletes to make them perform better.
Katung yang lapoi sebukut kebaidi bagi strength and conditioning jangka jingilek kai cricket but MMA. Ngingit skem ki players ki ba interest hagini ki judge sports. Kila yo jimentoi shibun. Bana mata kinono ki players ki ba sodon kam ya ka guidance jang igrek pilak ban phone hakini ki nambah harum.